after 127 years. That is how long the Western and Southern Open has been held in Cincinnati, Ohio. In that entire span, the tournament has never once needed emergency server capacity because a single third-round match sent more than 53,000 simultaneous ticket requests through a system designed to handle 9,000. It has never seen a session-level ticket sellout in under 7 minutes. It has never reassigned a scheduled match from an outer stadium to center court within 2 hours of a draw release based purely on demand signals. That did not happen during the Serena years. It did not happen during Federer's dominant decade on this surface. It is happening now in August 2026 at a tournament that has hosted every legend this sport has ever produced. That is not a glitch in the data. That is Alex Eala. The Lindner Family Tennis Center in Mason, Ohio is not a footnote on the tour calendar. It is one of the most decorated hard-court venues in professional tennis, a $260 million facility that has staged some of the most consequential matches of the modern era. Stadium Court holds 11,200 seats. It has held Agassi in his prime. It has held Sampras at his most ruthless. It has watched Serena Williams dismantle opponents with the kind of authority that makes announcers fall silent. Roger Federer won this tournament 5 times. 5. In the hard-court humidity of Cincinnati, Federer turned this event into a private kingdom across an entire decade. This is not a soft venue. It is a tournament that forges legacies. And now Amanda Anisimova, a former Roland Garros quarterfinalist who has made a career of defeating players ranked above her, has advanced to the 3rd round. Her next opponent is 21 years old. She is from the Philippines. She is seeded 17th. Cincinnati has no idea what is about to happen inside it. Before the draw dropped, tournament director Patricia Walsh described this year's Western and Southern Open as the strongest women's field assembled in Cincinnati in more than a decade. 3rd round afternoon session tickets were pricing at $195 in the primary market, tracking in line with the 5-year average. Organizers had slotted Eala's projected 3rd round match into the outer stadium, capacity $5,400, based on standard seating logic and historical attendance patterns. The outer stadium assignment was not a slight. It was the professional standard for a 17th seed at this stage. Digital infrastructure teams had run load tests. Hospitality packages were available. Sales projections tracked to a comfortable 18-day sell-through window. Every operational indicator said this was a well-managed tournament proceeding exactly on schedule. Then Alex Eala's name landed in the 3rd round bracket opposite Amanda Anisimova. And then nothing was proceeding on schedule. Within 45 minutes of the draw being published online, the tournament's official ticketing platform registered 53,000 simultaneous active sessions. The platform's previous single-session traffic record was 11,420D, set during the Serena Williams farewell scheduling announcement in 2022. The outer stadium listing was flagged internally within the first hour. It was pulled entirely and replaced with a stadium court assignment before 2 hours had elapsed. Primary market tickets jumped from $195 to $390 before noon. By 6:30 a.m. the following morning, secondary market listings appeared at $500 for upper-level seats. By 8 a.m., those same seats were clearing at $560. Lower bowl center court positions hit $820 by midday and reached $940 by close of business. A ticket with a face value of $220 was trading at 4 times that figure across StubHub, Vivid Seats, and SeatGeek simultaneously. The official resale inventory exhausted so quickly that fans who entered the purchase queue at 9:04 a.m. found 0 available inventory by 9:11. 7 minutes of viable purchasing window before the session was effectively closed. 11 community Facebook groups across Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia coordinated bulk purchasing in real time, posting step-by-step instructions before the draw had finished loading on most screens. To understand why this keeps happening at every tournament Eala enters, you need to understand who is flooding these ticket queues. There are an estimated 12 million Filipinos living and working outside the Philippines. In the United States alone, that number exceeds 4 million. They are distributed across every major metropolitan region: Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Houston, San Francisco, and yes, Cincinnati. They work in hospitals, warehouses, care facilities, and schools. They negotiate shift swaps months in advance. They book flights on credit. They send money home every month through remittance services. And when a 21-year-old from Manila reaches the third round of a 127-year-old tournament in Ohio, they do not watch from their phones, they come in person. 14 nurses from Louisville, Kentucky, purchased tickets within the first 8 minutes of the draw release. They had built their schedules around Cincinnati before the bracket was confirmed, coordinating in a group chat active since May. They were not hoping Eala would make the third round, they assumed it. A man named Ronald Dela Cruz drove from Detroit 4.5 hours one way, having submitted a personal day request 10 days before the draw was even released. He had made the same drive to Washington earlier in the summer, sat in the stands for 2.5 hours, and driven home the same night. A woman named Grace Buenaventura flew from Houston on a Thursday evening flight, landed at 11:40 p.m., attended the morning session, and returned on a Saturday red-eye to make her weekend shifts. $400 in flights, $340 for a ticket, less than 18 hours on the ground. A retired factory worker from Dayton, 63 years old, who had never watched a professional tennis match, purchased a $340 ticket within 20 minutes of the draw release because his daughter called and said it was important. He decided that made it important. The players who share courts and locker rooms with Eala are paying careful attention. Coco Gauff said the energy when Eala plays is unlike anything she experiences at any event that is not a Grand Slam final. The crowd moves differently. It is louder in a way that is not random noise but something structured and collective. Jessica Pegula went further. She said what Eala has built with the Filipino community mirrors what Naomi Osaka created for Japanese tennis, except that Eala's diaspora is simultaneously present across 6 continents every time she walks onto a court. Beatriz Haddad Maya said the Eala effect does not feel like ordinary fan enthusiasm. It feels like a community making a deliberate statement about itself through attendance. These are not polite hallway compliments. These are careful observations from athletes who understand crowd dynamics because their careers have depended on reading them. The pattern was established long before Cincinnati and has repeated without exception. At the Washington Open, 71% of same-day session ticket purchases for an Eala match were traced to buyers with Filipino surname associations or high diaspora zip codes. In Toronto, a single afternoon slot sold out in under 3 hours, with 5,000 tickets linked to one community Facebook group running purchase logistics since the morning draw announcement. In Melbourne, estimates placed Filipino supporter arrivals for a single tournament week at more than 3,200 people, including fans who flew from Qatar, the UAE, Singapore, and the United Kingdom. In Dubai, a grandstand section that had averaged 40% capacity for 3 consecutive years was standing room within minutes of Eala's warm-up. In London, an undersold session moved to sold out in 11 hours once her participation was confirmed. The tournament had not changed. The venue had not changed. The marketing had not changed. The only variable was the name on the scheduling sheet. Sports business analyst Dominic Torres published a note in July that is now circulating across WTA commercial partnerships divisions. Its central argument occupies a single line. Alex Eala is the first active women's player in the Open era whose economic draw operates in a category entirely independent of her ranking, her seeding, and her match results. Torres argues that her box office value has decoupled from her scoreline, that she generates measurable economic uplift for every tournament she enters regardless of how far she advances, and that the current WTA commercial framework has no established mechanism for pricing or distributing that value equitably. She does not need a title to move inventory. She moves it before the first ball is struck. That, Torres concludes, is the kind of economic anomaly that tends to restructure industries rather than simply benefit from them. The Lindner Family Tennis Center was built for moments like this. 11,200 seats, hard court sightlines engineered for visibility from every tier, a facility designed to hold history. What arrives with Alex Eala is not a conventional fan base. It is a temporary homeland assembled match by match across foreign cities and time zones. They come with Philippine flags rolled under their arms, some handheld, some full-size, unfurled during changeovers, and folded carefully during play. They arrive in matching shirts coordinated in group chats weeks before the draw. They chant in Filipino and in English, and in a blend of both that fills the upper tiers in a way licensed crowd audio cannot replicate. They fill seats that were empty the year before. They turn a third-round afternoon session in Mason, Ohio, into something that requires crowd flow briefings from a security team not staffed for this density. Eala was asked after her second-round victory how it feels to walk into venues knowing what awaits her in the stands. She said she is grateful every single time, that looking up and seeing her community gives her something she cannot put into words, and that she tries not to think about the scale of it during a match because it can become larger than tennis if she lets it. She said simply that she will try to make them proud. When she spoke that last sentence, part of it was in Filipino, and the response from the back of the press area was audible. The next match is Anisimova, a dangerous opponent who has ended the runs of higher seeds before and will not arrive intending to be part of someone else's story. Then a potential quarterfinal. Then New York and a US Open draw. The entire sport is watching with uncommon attention. The data has spoken, the stadium is sold, the community has assembled, driven through the night, taken red-eye flights, submitted personal day requests, and paid $940 for a seat with a face value of $220. The question is no longer whether this is real. 53,000 simultaneous ticket requests and a 7-minute sellout window already settled that. The question is whether professional tennis, its venues, its governing bodies, its scheduling protocols, its commercial frameworks was ever designed to absorb a force like this. The WTA built its systems for a world in which economic impact scales with ranking and results. Eala does not operate inside that world. She is building a different one, court by court, city by city, and the institutions charged with managing the sport are rewriting their assumptions in real time. With every bracket she advances through, she keeps moving forward. They keep catching up. What happens the week she wins a title? Should the WTA introduce mechanisms that reflect the actual market value she generates, allowing venues to capture the premium her presence creates? Or does that model build the exact financial wall that prices out the diaspora communities whose purchasing behavior created the premium in the first place? And if a 21-year-old from Manila is rewriting the attendance, economics, and cultural gravity of women's tennis across 6 continents simultaneously, does the sport owe something structural to the audience that made it possible, or will it do what institutions have always done when unexpected value appears? Follow the money upward until the people who built the moment can no longer afford a seat inside it. That debate is real. It is playing out right now in the ticket market of every city Alex Eala enters. Tennis Diaries, where the ones who saw the 7-minute sellout first stay until the next bracket drops.